Hi there, Pastor Timothy Hall, Southside Baptist Church of Mount Airy. We're going to continue our study today in Genesis chapter 1. And what we're going to do today is start at verse 9, and we'll see how far we get in our study. I don't think we'll finish up the third day, but we sure are going to take a stab at it. So go ahead and read with me in verse 9. And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear," and it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas, and God saw that it was good. Now on this third day, the day starts with God doing some more work on this planet we live on today. We're on the tail end of this thing. God's already created and done what he needed to do, but at this time in history, it was all fresh and new, and God was creating a world that he was going to give dominion to mankind, to have dominion over this planet that he was creating. We haven't gotten there yet, but as he continues to create here, look what it says. "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place." Now, for a moment, stop. What is the heaven? Now, we know from our previous study that at this point, the heaven God is referring to is the firmament that he's already used to divide the waters from the waters. And so as he says the heaven here, he's referring to that which is under the atmospheric heaven. That's where the clouds are, the birds fly, planes fly in and out, and all that sort of stuff goes on in the atmospheric heaven. And so here what he's saying is, let the waters that are under the atmospheric heaven be gathered together unto one place. You know what's happening now? He's about to form regions on this planet that will contain water and hold that in place. And as he continues on past that, he says, "And let the dry land appear," and it was so. Could you imagine the amount of movement and activity that would be taking place on this planet at that time, as the mountains are coming forth, and we don't know that everything was exactly the way it is right now. The planet was different. The planet has changed a few times. In the days of Noah, when the flood came about, the whole planet was submerged under water again. And as the water receded, things were changed. The world had broken up, so to speak. You know, the fountains of the deep had broken up. And so the structure of the planet in that time of the flood was different than what God's doing right now in creation. And now what he's done is he's separated. He's got this ocean, he's got the land, and he's going to use both for a great purpose. And that purpose is life. God is a God of life. He's the one and only true living God. In Acts 17, Paul was preaching to some idolaters and pagan worshipers, and he told them, he said, in him, that's in God, we live and move and have our being. We are in him. He's a living God, and he's all about life. And that's the goal here, as he has starting to separate out the oceans from the land. He has this goal of bringing life into this earth. Now, notice what he said there at the end of verse 9. "And it was so." You talk about power. That God could just simply say, there's a sphere of water here. I'm going to take these oceans. I'm going to put them over here. I'm going to take this land. I'm going to put it over here. And it was so. No one could argue against what God was going to do. See, God is all-powerful. And what he wants to bring to pass, you and I, nothing in this world will ever stop it. No government, no false religion, no atheist group, no agnostic group. It doesn't matter who you are. You cannot stop the force which is God. Over in Jeremiah chapter 29, this is such a reassuring thing. Jeremiah 29 verse 11, it says, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." In the same way that God looked at the planet that he was creating, and he had a thought, and he had an expected end. And he wanted oceans here and land here so that he might put life here and even life in the firmament. You know, we'll read about the fowls of the air, the birds. But in the same way, that God is the same one that has thoughts towards me and towards you. He's the same God that has an expected end in your life and in my life. He's the same God that, yes, he can hold back the ocean, the power of the ocean. Yes, he can shape the land as if he's just taking his little finger and moving it along. And so imagine with me and consider with me what he's able to do in your life if you would surrender to him to do so. And day after day be encouraged and rejoice and remind yourself that the God of this world, the one and only true living God, has purpose, desires life, and has thoughts towards me that are thoughts of peace and not of evil. And he has an expected end. And here the end for the water and the land at this time was that they be separated out, that he has in the future, he has a place he can put the life that he's going to put into this planet. But what kind of life does he want to bring into your world? Are you dead in trespasses and sin right now? Have you ever put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, the Son of God? Whosoever calleth on the name of the Lord shall be saved. If you'd be willing to call on him right now, God could bring life into your world, into your life. Life eternal, life abundant, life everlasting, life that overflows, life that will give you purpose and meaning as you live to glorify our wonderful Creator. Hey, I appreciate you being with me today. God bless you. Take care.